Alright guys, I got it all wet sand with 3000 grit, everything that I'm doing. You can still kind of see some sanding lines. You can kind of see them about right there. But my sandpaper is dying, I think. It wasn't really doing much towards the end. I wiped it all down with microfiber cloth, just with water, squeegee it all off. Then I used glass cleaner and wiped it all down. Alright, now this is what I'm going to be doing. My first step's going to be with this sander slash polisher. It's variable speed. Then I'm going to use a medium foam pad. And then stage 1 of 3M. It's a cutting compound. Then the second step's going to be machine polish with a fine foam pad with a orbital polisher. And then my third step is going to be ultra fine. Then ultra fine machine polish, step 3. Now, I don't know if you guys know the difference, but this one just rotates, spins. This one is like a DA sander, so it spins and orbits. So this way it's hard to burn through stuff. This one, just like sanding, you can really mess up your clear coat. So you gotta be very careful when you're any body line, mainly sharp edges like this. It'll take no time to burn through it. Then these two right here, I mean, you can also burn through it, but it's very unlikely. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all set up, and I'll do a little test panel for you guys and show you how I do it. Since this ain't a new pad, you can see all the white on here. What I'll do is I'll put it on the backing plate right here, turn it on and take something and just kind of touch against it as it's spinning and run down through here, and it should get all the hard flaky stuff off. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm gonna go ahead and get all set up and I'll do a panel for you guys. Alright guys, well, I'm about ready to start doing a little panel for you. I went into the trunk just to make sure I still had an idea how to do it. It's not too difficult, but you gotta get your speed down right and stuff like that. Make sure you keep it nice and wet, the compound. It does dry up, it's cutting the clear coat slightly. But this is only one pass. You can see over here, there's still scratches in it. Hopefully another pass will get them out. Some of them look kind of iffy. If it don't get them out, then I'll have to wet sand it some more. You see right here on this edge. Edges are pretty hard to do. Your pad kind of hops over it. Like I said, you gotta be careful because you could burn through them. There you go, you can see all the scratches now. From far away it looks pretty good. Alright, so I found a 3M pad. The ones I showed you were Harbor Freight ones. The 3M I like better because, I'll show you real quick. Alright, the 3M ones I like better because it's kind of waffled looking. The Harbor Freight ones are just flat. And my thought on this is less surface area touching, so less likely is to burn through. Rather than this one's always constantly touching, it might get too hot and burn the paint. And of course, 3M's better than Harbor Freight, but I'm not too big on brands. As long as it works for me, that's all that really matters. All of this stuff is about the best I've found. I spent, I think, $150 on all 3 steps. It'll last a good while. I did my whole truck in it, and I don't know, it's about half full still. So about $50 a bottle. Alright, well, I'm gonna go and get you guys set up on the tripod, and I'll do a little spot. Alright, first thing that I do is get you some compound and just put in a couple spots. I don't know if you guys can see, there's some black stuff right here. That's what the compound turns into when it starts eating away at the clear coat. Alright, so I recommend starting on a low speed when you're sander, polisher, whatever you want to call it. This way you get used to it. Alright, so go ahead and smear it around some. I like to tap the trigger a couple times because it will start flinging it. If you notice, when I pull the trigger, it starts off slow, but really not slow enough. It's to prevent it from flinging as much. Alright, so as you can see, I constantly kept it moving. Can't really hold it in one spot, or like I said, you can burn through it. Now when I wipe it down, I like to use 2 different rags. One to get the majority of the stuff off. So I like to use like a bright colored rag. Think of hazardous, I don't know. It's just easy way for me to remember. Just quickly wipe it down with the first rag. Get all the big stuff off. That second rag, you go through and get everything off. Now you want to make sure you get it all off. So around like door jambs and stuff, if you don't get it off now, it's not fun to get off. I still have some on my truck, and it's been almost a year. But it's in spots you can't really see. Alright. So there's the first one done. Well, it's not quite done. I'm going to hit it one more time. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up in the camera. Up here, there's definitely some. There you go. If you look right here. I'm kind of scared to be up here with that big pad on this little spot. You got your 90-degree edge here, and then your rounded edge here. But it's definitely pretty shiny. Nice and flat, except where his fish eyes were. You can actually, where I filled it over with clear coat the fish eyes, I don't know if it might be too reflective. Anyways, right here's one. You can kind of see it in the camera. But you can still see them there. They're kind of like dark spots. So I'm guessing it's where the candy kind of puddled up at. I mean, it's smooth, you can't fill them. So I think on a regular color, that would have worked. One thing about nice shiny car is you can definitely see imperfections. You kind of see a little wave here. But it's looking pretty good. It's almost midnight now. I'm hoping to get at least the first step done to the whole car. But I don't know. Been up for 21 hours, worked 10 hours a day at work, and then came here to start on the car. Alright, well, I'm going to get back to it, and I'll kind of shoot a little bit as I go, or when I'm done with the first step, or something. Pretty big difference between the two. It's kind of impressive. I gotta show you guys something real quick. As long as we make it out in the video. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Alright, so if you look through here, you can kind of see a swirl marks. You can see how it's kind of foggy around the sides of the light. You can kind of see lines going this way. Anyways, those are swirl marks from the buffing compound. And, well, I kind of see some scratches. I'm mainly seeing swirl marks now, which is a good thing. I did the whole quarter panel, then I went over the whole thing one more time. So did 2 passes on it, and I can still see some scratches. I don't know what's gonna look like out in the sun, but they're gone for the most part. So the swirl marks is where step 2 comes in. It says quickly and effectively removes compound swirl marks. So maybe it'll be good after I do step 2 on it. I don't know. But anyways, I want to show you guys the swirl marks and explain that's kind of how you want to, what you want to see when you're buffing with step 1. So my idea is, if I still see scratches, which I really think I'm going to, I might just leave it alone until springtime, and then I'll wet sand the whole car again. But actually get some good sandpaper, order it offline or something. That one piece of 3000 wasn't quite cutting it. It did, I don't know, about 2 panels, and it felt like it started dying off. So it's kind of my fault not being completely prepared. That's one thing I have learned is you got to make sure you have the right stuff. It don't have to be a top of the line, but the right tool for the job definitely makes it a lot better. Saves a lot of time and headache. Alright, so now, next time you'll see it is all buffed, hopefully. Well, guys, I got her all buffed out. I ended up doing it twice. There's still some spots that I may have to end up hitting again. As you can see right here, it's kind of cloudy looking. Down through there. I'm hoping that the second swirl remover compound, whatever you want to call it, will do away with some of the cloudiness and some of these scratches. So I had my hood up when I was doing the fender right here, and the back of the buffing pad hit the hood right there, that white spot. Ended up burning through the paint. Each step that you do on the buffing makes it look shinier and like a deeper color. So overall, it should look pretty good. I have found a couple imperfections, but a lot better than what it was. When I'm completely done with it, I'll do a better walk around and show you everything I messed up on. I ain't scared to admit it. I do gotta do my spoiler at some point. I figure it'd be easier when I bolt it down to the trunk. But I think I'm done for the night. As you can see what time it is. Like I said, I got up at 3 this morning and had to be at work by 4. I got off at 2:30. And I came home and sat down for a few minutes, and I started working on the car. So hopefully it'll be done tomorrow or later today, I guess. Definitely a lot of work to buffing and wet sanding. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I just hope some of these scratches come out. I'm pretty excited to see it out in the sun. Alrighty, well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I was supposed to get out here a little earlier than I did. Got here about, I don't know, 11. And I started doing the trunk. I'm not too happy with it. You can still see some of the sanding marks in it. So I'm going to have to go through and wet sand the whole thing again. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to wait till springtime to do it. Kind of sucks. I'm afraid it's going to look terrible out in the sun. But we'll see. I'll go and show you. Well, good news is it looks good in video, I guess. Let me take my phone case off, see if it looks any better. Alright, I got my phone case off. At least the screen looks better. And there you go, you can see some of the messed up areas. And all those scratches. I'm kind of mad. I got a lot of time on this. My problem when I do any kind of body work is I expect it to be 100% perfect show quality, when in all reality I'm not good enough to do that. Really, I should be happy because it looks 1,000 times better than it did. So this is after stage 2 of buffing. And here's just stage 1. You kind of see how much brighter this panel looks than this panel. When I was doing this, I got new rags, 2 of them again. I didn't want to use the old rags and have some of the old compound in it. See what it says? When it says it removes stuff. Oh, this is number 2. Anyways, this one still cuts. It says quickly and effectively removes compound swirl marks. That means it's going to remove material. That means there's real fine sand in it, basically. So, number 1 is going to have coarser sand in it. It may not be sand, but it does cut. So I didn't want this coarse stuff being wiped against this panel and leaving some scratches. So I got new rags, and this one's kind of more oily feeling than number 1. So that's why I got 2. By the time you get done with the whole car, your first rag's gonna be, I don't know, kind of damp. So you take your second rag over and it dries it all off pretty good. But it's pretty much the same concept. I was going to show you how I did step 2, but I don't know, it's the same thing. You just go over the panel. I like to go over it 4 times. I go this way. I drop it down like, I don't know, 10-15%. So I overlap it, 90-85%. I go down, and then I go back up the same way. And then I switch directions and go up and down. And then I come back across. That's kind of the method I use. Then I wipe the panel down and then I do it one more time. So technically I buff each panel at least 8 times, technically. I really hope this looks good in the sun. kind of really bummed about it. Kind of lost motivation to do it now. Let's see if I can get some flake in the picture. It might be as simple as not be able to see him in the sun. I doubt it. Definitely got some sparkle to it. Then as far as my panel goes, I blended. Again, it's not in the sun, but I think it turned out pretty good. It all looks pretty consistent. Don't look like a different shade. You can see all them swirl marks now. That's from step one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole car. I might just go over everything once. It does take a lot of time. I am using the Harbor Freight polisher, and it works okay. It does the job, and you can see the difference. So it kind of shakes back and forth as it's spinning, and then that kind of eliminates your swirl problem. Anyways, as far as this tool goes, it does pretty good. It's adjustable. It feels decent made. The only problem I have with it is at higher speeds, like not even that much higher, about 2, it vibrates a lot. And spending hours with it is kind of annoying. So I don't know if they all do that, or maybe better quality ones don't do it. It's just something to really think about, especially if you're planning on doing more than one car. My hood looks terrible. With it shiny now, you can see all the dents. So I like using the lights as references. It should be straight, and then as you pass over a dent, they no longer are straight. Which is my weakness on body work. So there was a spot somewhere. You guys can't really see it, but there's some unevenness, which I did a guide coat, and there was no low spots, but you can, with it shiny, you can see it's uneven. Alright, well I guess I'm gonna quit talking. Probably don't help to make the video any more interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out some of this polishing. It is Christmas Eve, so I'd like to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Hopefully you have a good one tomorrow. Thanks.